All right, today we're talking about a web framework that, for a minute there, felt like the future of everything, Gatsby JS. It was incredibly fast, it was powerful, and it felt like it was everywhere. So, what happened?
And this isn't just a story about a piece of software. It's really about innovation, about fierce competition, and what it actually takes to stay relevant in the tech world, which, as we know, moves at a ridiculous speed. Gatsby's journey from being the next big thing to, well, a bit of a cautionary tale is absolutely fascinating. Okay, let's get into it.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the problem Gatsby was trying to solve. Then we'll get into its secret sauce, that GraphQL superpower. We'll cover its glory days, then the turning point, what developers are saying now, and finally we'll ask what's left of its legacy.
To really understand why Gatsby was such a big deal, you kind of have to go back in time a little bit. Not that long ago, the web was struggling with a huge speed and complexity problem.
Yeah, this old school method is called server-side rendering, or SSR. And what it meant was every time you, as a visitor, went to a web page, a server somewhere had to spin up, do a bunch of work, piece together the HTML, and then send it to your browser. As you can imagine, this could be slow, it could be expensive, and honestly, a real pain to manage. So Gatsby came along and championed this new approach called the Jamstack. The idea was super simple, but totally revolutionary. Instead of building pages every single time someone visits, you pre-build the entire site ahead of time into simple, static files. Then you just sprinkle those files across a global network, a CDN, so they're super close to your users no matter where they are. The result? Websites that loaded almost instantly.
And this image shows it perfectly. With static site generation, or SSG, all that hard work happens one time, during what's called a build step. What you get at the end is a finished website, just sitting there, ready to go. For performance and security, this was an absolute game changer.
But look, insane speed was only half the equation. Gatsby's real magic, the thing that truly made developers' heads turn, was how it dealt with data.
At the very heart of Gatsby was this technology called GraphQL. The best way to think about it is like ordering food. With old APIs, it's like you have to order a combo meal, and you get the fries and the drink even if you don't want them. With GraphQL, you walk up to the counter and say, I want just the burger patty, nothing else. And that's exactly what you get. No waste. And you can see just how clean it is. On the left, the query is asking for one specific thing, the site's title. Now look at the response on the right. It's a perfect mirror. This totally prevents something called overfetching, which is a huge problem, where APIs send you a mountain of data you don't even need, and it just slows everything down.
So why was this such a superpower?
Well, first off, it got rid of tons of messy, horrible code for fetching data. And it didn't care where your data came from. It could be a WordPress site, a spreadsheet, a markdown file, whatever. Gatsby's GraphQL layer just pulled it all into one central place. Not only did this make sites faster, but you could do amazing things like automatically optimize all your images right from within your query. It was just so elegant, and developers absolutely loved it. And that powerful combination, raw speed, plus this beautiful data layer, it kicked off Gatsby's golden age. It wasn't just another tool in the box. It became the absolute darling of the Jamstack community. And they weren't shy about it. This was their tagline, right on their GitHub page. And for a while there, it wasn't just marketing speak. It felt 100% true. The framework was delivering on all of its promises, big time.
A huge piece of this success was its plugin ecosystem. We're talking over 2,500 plugins. That's just wild. It meant you could add almost anything you could think of, connecting to a new CMS, adding slick animations, usually with just a few lines of code. It made building complex stuff feel easy.
So yeah, at its peak, the benefits were just impossible to ignore. Your sites were lightning fast because of pre-rendering. It was an SEO beast right out of the box, handling stuff like sitemaps automatically. It even did crazy smart things like inlining critical CSS so your pages felt like they loaded instantly. And that image optimization component, man, it was just on another level. But, as we all know, in tech, being on top is often temporary. Just when Gatsby was at its highest point, the landscape started to change, and some serious rivals started to appear. This timeline really tells the story, doesn't it? A strong start in 2015, a ton of venture capital money in 2019 and 2020, and then a sudden plot twist. In early 2023, Gatsby gets acquired by Netlify, and just a few months after that, Gatsby Cloud, Their main commercial product gets shut down. That sent a huge signal to the community that the game had changed.
So what was happening? Well, a huge part of the story is the absolute rocket ship that was Next.js. Here's the key difference. Gatsby was opinionated. It basically forced you to use its specific GraphQL data layer. But Next.js was all about flexibility. The web was changing, and more sites needed a mix of static and dynamic content. Next.js was built for that hybrid world. And all of a sudden, Gatsby's biggest strength, that all-in-one data layer, started to feel a little restricted.
So you've got this powerful rival, you've got this uncertain future after the acquisition, and all of that created massive waves in the developer community. And this question just started popping up everywhere. You'd see it on Reddit, on tech blogs, and company Slack channels. The entire vibe was shifting, and developers who had been Gatsby's most vocal supporters were suddenly looking for a way out. And the commentary started to get pretty harsh. Tech blogs began publishing posts that basically put Gatsby on life support, pointing out that updates and community adoption had slowed to a crawl. The general feeling was that the project had been left behind. Wow, this comment from a user on Reddit, it just hits different. You can feel the weight of that decision. This is someone who clearly built a ton of projects on Gatsby, a real fan, who just spent their weekend moving the very last one off of it. She's done. That says it all. And other people were even more direct. No, dead. It doesn't get much blunter than that. The consensus was forming right before our eyes. If you're starting a new project, you should probably be looking at newer tools like Astro or the super flexible Next.js.
So, is that it? Is that where the story ends? Is Gatsby just another chapter in a tech history book? Well, not exactly. Even if the framework itself has faded, its most powerful idea might be getting a second life.
And this is the pivot. They've created something called the Valhalla Content Hub. What they've done is take Gatsby's crown jewel, that incredible unified GraphQL data layer, and they've set it free from the framework itself. So now a developer could build their site with Next.js or Astro, but still use Gatsby's amazing data engine to pull everything together. In a way, the superpower gets to live on, just in a different form. When you look back at the whole story, it really makes you wonder, maybe the point of a revolutionary idea isn't to rule the world forever. Maybe it's just to push the entire industry forward before passing the torch. Gatsby completely changed how we all think about building websites, and you can see its DNA in the very frameworks that have now taken its place. What a ride.